We here at the GameCola podcast were hoping we could start our podcast by playing the start of something new from High School Musical, because it seems rather thematically appropriate because we have the new website and everything like that. But after double checking with our lawyers, I found out that all we could play is this.
And right here tonight, this could be the start of something new.
If we tried anything more than that, we're going to get sued. So that's all the intro we're going to have. Take it away, Michael Ridgaway.
Hello, and welcome to the GameCola podcast. I'm Mike Ridgaway. I do the Quantum Geek articles on GameCola. With me today are Justin Lushinsky, Nathaniel Huber.
Wait, what? How do you pronounce my last name? Like Ridgaway?
Huber. That's the way I'm pronouncing it, and you can like it. Paul Franzen, Michael Gray, and Vangie Richard. I'll let you guys do the through and just, tell people what you do, like people don't know.
Because we're the only ones who listen to the podcast?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, actually, I shared this with Michael Gray. I got an email from someone who was a fan of the podcast. Someone emailed me and let me know how much they liked the Phoenix Wright segments. I'm not making this up.
Was it one of our
Staff members? No, it wasn't. It was a friend from college. It half counts. It counts more than a staff member emailing me and said, "Hey, the podcasts that I do, they're great."
Do you really get emails like that, Paul?
All the time. Zach Rich, I tell you every time.
Do you make your own email addresses and then just send yourself email from that address saying like, "Hey Paul, I just listened to your podcast, it's really great." From notpaul93@gmail.com.
It makes me feel loved.
Introductions! Okay, I'm Justin Lashinsky. I just sit around and look ready.
Nathaniel, go.
I'm the one whose name gets mispronounced and not Justin for some reason. It just baffles me. I'm the author of Flash Flood, which has yet to appear on the new GameCola site, but I'm working on it, and the administrator for the GameCola YouTube page.
Paul Franzen, go.
I'm Paul. I'm GameCola's editor-in-chief, and I also write reviews and a new column I just started called Minus the Pudding about Xbox Live indie games.
Oh good, something else I don't have to read. Michael Gray, go.
Yeah, man, that was a good one. I got an email about that one too, saying how good it was.
From a staff member.
Still counts.
I'm Michael Gray. I write Inside the Guide, The 10 Reasons, and Ode to Humanity.
And apparently you wrote Twilight too.
Twilight New Moon.
I saw that on your profile.
That was a joke you made during your run of Super Mario Bros. 2.
But it hasn't been released yet to the public.
Okay.
Shh, don't tell them!
Spoiler alert.
And Vangie Rich does Gamer Girlfriend and various reviews. She'll be joining us shortly. Today's topics, we're going to be discussing the new site.
Oh yeah.
Excuse to rag on Paul. And we'll also be discussing GameCola 2009 Game Awards, otherwise known as Monkey Island and Batman were the best games ever.
Yeah. I'm surprised by that, to be honest.
And Scribblenauts, that won a couple awards.
Yeah, Scribblenauts.
That won all of the other awards, basically.
That won the handheld awards, let's just put it that way.
Well, guys, it's really hard when they only released 5 games in 2009.
Yeah.
They all kind of did get pushed to 2010. And in fact, they all got pushed to February.
Okay, also joining us right now is Miss Vangie Rich. Vangie?
Hey!
Yo.
I know we're going to talk about the new GameCola site, but first, in a completely self-serving announcement, I'd just like to inform our podcast listeners, including all of Paul's quote-unquote friends, that myself and Vangie are engaged.
Yay!
All right.
Congrats.
Yay!
Yeah,
We actually got excited. You can't tell. But anyway, alright, we can get back to the regular podcast now. Paul, why don't you give us a brief history of the development of the new GameCola site. And just kind of, what you initially set out to do when making the new site, and if you think have been so far as, living up to your expectations.
Well, let me take it back a little bit first. GameCola, I started GameCola in 2002 when I was in high school. From then until last summer, so I don't know, 7 years, I guess. We published in kind of a monthly magazine/newsletter format. But we put it all on the actual website, GameCola.net, but we published only every month, like a big just collection of articles. Then we realized that was really stupid. It was just a bad idea, very reader unfriendly, and it was a lot of work for me, because I had to edit and do the layout for each article individually. And that got to be a major problem toward the end of that run, because so many people kept writing stuff. It was really getting annoying. Friggin' people writing stuff.
Cursed writers' penchant for writing. Stupid people. Yeah.
So last summer, I emailed Kevin and I said, "Hey, what if we turned GameCola into an actual website?" And he was like, "That would be great, because that's what I've been bugging you to do for 5 years." So I emailed him.
Really, you were the one holding back GameCola all these years.
Yeah, pretty much. It's pretty much been all my.
It's like Fight Club, except nerdy.
I wrote up some specifications for what I'd like to see in the new site. Emailed them to Kevin. Captain Eric drew up a very basic design for what the website should look like based on my specifications, and then basically Colin and Kevin and Alex just took that and ran with it and put together a really, really, really fantastic site. It took them a long ass time, but they did it, and it's up now. That's what everyone is probably listening to this podcast on, unless we have iTunes subscribers, which I kind of doubt. Except for me and my mom, but other than us.
And now calling free at gmail.com.
Why doesn't he count? It's real to me. But anyway, the whole point of the website, from my perspective, was to get away from the monthly magazine format and to create something that was a little more automated, so I wasn't spending all of my free time on the stupid friggin' website.
So instead, I'm spending all of my free time on the website.
That was actually part of what I was expecting and hoping for. You were having days. I was kind of hoping you guys would do all of the work now, and I could just sit back.
Well, it seems pretty good from my standpoint so far. I'm still kind of getting used to it, like many others. I find it easier to just get my stuff and get it submitted.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a huge step up from the first site. Really, really good job.
Yeah.
My question, are there more people reading the site now that it is in a new format?
Yes, there actually are more people reading the site because now we have more staff writers.
Oh, that's right.
I will say I think I've only seen 2 comments so far from people who are not on the staff. And they were both from the same person. And they were both Eric's sister. So I'm not really sure that our readership is really growing to what we would hope at the moment.
Yay, Genevieve.
Hey, actually, she just got engaged recently too, so congrats, Genevieve.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Now she has to listen to the podcast. We get one new listener.
Hey.
So anyway, the new site, people can now more or less post articles to the site directly without having to email me a Word document and me having to do a lot of work.
Well, in theory,
now everyone else can do more work instead.
I guess I don't really have anything else to add. I mean, time will tell how, if a giant bug comes out of the works and he decides the worst thing that's ever been done to GameCola since Paul started it.
It obviously looks a lot more professional than our old site. I think we could probably all agree on that.
That's something I really
It actually looks like a real website.
And I think now that we look like a real website, that we have new content coming, daily, and that's not like at the bottom of the page on the blog. It's that's in a place people can see it. I think that could definitely help us grow leadership.
And also, all of our daily content is not all from Michael Gray now. Only about half of it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess they're keeping you busy in seminary, huh, Michael Gray?
I am, and I quit doing Carbonated News.
Good for you. Who'd you get to take it over?
I don't think anybody's volunteered to take it over, so,
Basically, the only news we're gonna have is the new video game releases.
Yeah, that was the joke I
And
was
post
going to
about
make.
Sonic, where everyone yells at me.
What was the name exactly? It was video game news or initiatives or?
It was just video game news, and I don't keep up with video game news at all. So
Well, that's what made it funny, was that it was Michael making up part of the news and reporting on...
Yeah, I actually liked what Michael was doing.
Yeah, like...
trying to report on games he's never heard of.
And I also enjoyed how every time you made a post, someone would say, "Hey, Michael, this is wrong. You're stupid."
That was my favorite part about the column. I don't know why I stopped writing it.
Have you guys noticed this? Is it just me, or is are like 75% of the comments on GameCola right now someone being a whiny baby about something? Am I incorrect? I think we have a lot of whiny babies posting comments.
I don't think you've been posting that much, Paul.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I guess people don't tend to comment when they just think, "Hey, that was really cool." They just comment when they see something that they want to complain about.
I think I've only gotten one comment on one of my 500 columns, so I can't tell.
Alright, maybe it's just me.
It was Mark Friedman asking why the Indian in the Oregon Trail wants to have your clothes.
Well, I guess that we can wrap up discussion on that for now.
I say we all go around and everyone says what their favorite part of the new site is. Starting with Michael Ridgaway.
I just like how new content is up there at the top of the page where people, can come and see it and they can rather easily see if there's something new posted, and I think that'll keep people coming back to the site and have them coming more often.
Sounds good. Justin?
I like the layout. I pretty much the same thing as Michael said. To pop out a little bit. I like the layouts. It's very, very nice, very modern.
Michael Gray.
I like how we have a section for comics, but we haven't had like a staff cartoonist in the past. How many years has it been, Paul?
No, we had didn't we have something recently?
4.
Alex Jetty. He was doing a comic last year.
I guess he was.
That was a comic.
It wasn't a joke comic though, like Lofi Carl or the one that Julia was doing.
Julia?
Is her name Julia? Who did that comic?
Oh wait, I know who you're talking about. Oh god. What was her name?
Hello, Michael here from the editing room. The name of this cartoonist is Jamie Jewett. She drew Pretty in Pixels for 3 or 4 months.
She only did it for like 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, and that was the most
Julie something.
recent comic. See, Julia, I was close.
That was close. Yeah, well, I kind of shoehorned to be careful what you search for in there. Hopefully Terrence does another one of them at some point. Maybe we'll have something to put in there. I haven't spoken with her in a while, though.
Her? Terrence is a she?
Terrence is a girl.
Oh.
Well, Paul, spoiler alert, you've just ruined the biggest secret of GameCola.
Wow.
I thought that was public knowledge. I'm sorry.
Edit it out.
What?
Terrence is a girl. Nathaniel Hoover, your favorite part of the new site?
Yes, well, I am definitely a fan of just about everything about it, but I think the fact that there is a very clear distinction between the reviews, the blog posts, the videos, the fan fiction, that it's all very clearly labeled, because even though I do have a special place in my heart for the old, antiquated newsletter format, I am very much a fan of
You're the only one,
exactly.
and I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, no, yes. So I enjoyed the old format, but I like this new format. I do like the fact that you can actually tell what the different things are, because previously, at least for me, scrolling down the list of here's a bunch of reviews, and then here are a bunch of columns that may or may not be related to each other, and then trying to find out, oh, well, this is a comic, and this is actually a column, and this is this and that. It was a little difficult to figure out what was what, so now there's very clear distinctions, and I'm very fond of that.
Cool. And I guess my favorite part that hasn't been mentioned yet, I like the top articles section. I check that almost every day.
Yes! I like that.
And I like how it's updated live now, because before, I don't know if you guys noticed, but we had that section on the page before, and I was just uploading it doing it manually every month when the new issue went out. Like I got the list of all article ratings, and I sorted them by highest rating, and then I took the top 25 or whatever it was. But now I don't have to do that, and I really like it. It's right there in my bio how wonderful my beard is. It may not be the thickest beard, but it is the most beautiful. So I hope in every podcast it's either making fun of me or talking about my beard now.
I think Terrence has a beard that's thicker than yours.
What?
Terrence does not have a beard.
Oh, I'm gonna post pictures of Terrence, see if he has a beard.
Oh, we care because we love. We care because we love.
My beard got fan mail, and it wasn't from the game.
Paul's beard at gmail.com. Yeah.
No. Michael Gray knows what I'm talking about.
I know
That
what
letter
you're
I got
talking about.
when Zach Rich did his April Fool's joke where someone threatened to quit our mailing list because Zach Rich made fun of my beard.
That is a wonderful thing.
Now, the one thing I like about the new GameCola site is that Zach will not be able to do that again. Right? Right?
Oh,
Sure.
well, if he goes through another person like he did last time, he probably could.
This ends the section of the podcast where we talk about the new GameCola website. In the next section of the podcast, we're going to talk about the GameCola End of Year Awards, and what better way to transition into that new segment than by talking to GameCola's guest star of the year herself, Miss Marianne Fenwick. Okay, let's call her right now. This is going to be exciting.
Hello, you've reached the cell phone of Marianne. Leave me a message, please. Goodbye.
Hey, Marianne, this is the GameCola podcast calling. We were wondering if you could participate in a transition for the podcast number 20. So, thank you very much for helping out. See ya. Bye. That could have gone better.
We recently had the GameCola Best of 2009 Awards. As most of you know, Monkey Island and Batman Arkham Asylum ran away with it. So, what do you think, guys? Are they just that good, or maybe this failing on our part? Did we just not play a lot of games?
I think Drama Queens got screwed.
2000.
That's what I think.
Yeah, 2009 felt like a preview year to 2010, but everything got pushed back. So there wasn't really much to choose from.
Yeah.
I mean, that was the big problem I had when I was trying to put the ballot together, was that there just wasn't that much to put on it.
Yeah. I mean, Batman was good. I'm surprised nobody voted for Assassin's Creed 2. I mean, that was pretty good too.
I suppose. I mean, I was listening to the last podcast, and you guys talked about 100 games that came out in 2009, none of which I had ever heard of. So...
Yeah, I'm with Michael here, actually, because after all this time, I still have played, I think, one game that came out in 2009, which is the first episode of Tales of Monkey Island. So that's I played like
others yet?
I played like the first. Well, at this point now, after I voted, I played like the first half an hour of episode 2. But honestly, I am such a retro gamer, so behind the times that you know what? I did. I played Muramasa the Demon Blade, which is something that I gave my votes for whenever it was in a category because I love that game. Nice old Japanese anime-esque platformer, same people who did Odin Sphere, which I had never heard of, but looks equally awesome. It's like a platformer you're running around as a samurai, slicing up things, doing cool sword moves. It's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my plug. You should go back in time and vote for it.
Go back in time and vote for it. All right. Yeah, I know. Like there was a lot of really good games, but there's some. I mean, Batman was good, but I don't know if it deserved like the best game ever award.
I mean, I think the problem was that there were just a lot of games that came out that were good, not necessarily great though. I think there were only a couple games that were just awesome, and there were a bunch of games that were pretty darn good, but not really game of the year kind of stuff.
I'm trying to think of Infamous. No, none of you guys played Infamous?
Never heard of it. What is it?
I voted for it. On a couple categories. It just, I don't think anyone else enjoyed it
No, I think someone else nominated it for most disappointing this year.
Oh yeah, somebody did. I want to find that person.
Yeah, actually, did you guys? I enjoyed how a lot of the games that were nominated for most disappointing were also nominated for like best console game, best PC game, etc.
Yeah, that should really say something though.
That happens every year.
Apparently, the GameCola staff has wildly divergent viewpoints on games.
Apparently.
Right.
Nobody voted for the Nancy Drew games. I'm upset.
Well, I mean, the last podcast, Colin and I had this whole long conversation about Infamous versus Prototype, and we were completely diametrically opposed. I thought that Prototype was the most disappointing game of the year, and I loved Infamous. He thought that Infamous was one of the most disappointing games of the year, and he loved Prototype.
I think they're both great games. I don't know why we have to verse them all the time.
Yeah.
They're supposed to.
Well, aren't they the same game?
No. Completely different.
Well, they're similar, but let's not get into that now. I mean, we did that the games last time, but
Especially since probably the majority of people on the podcast don't really know anything about those games, like me.
What system are they out on?
and so
Are
those are the things he's playing, like Monkey Island.
And Drama
And so,
I seriously, I voted for Drama Queens, alright? I'm not. The game was great.
Yeah, for those of you who missed it, we actually did. For those of you who missed it, we actually
anything
did
like
two whole
Ridgaway.
podcasts of everybody else talking over Nathaniel. It was great.
Go ahead,
Yes,
Nathaniel.
we did two whole podcasts. Thank you, Paul. But Drama Queens, actually, Paul and a bunch of other GameCola staff members sitting around playing this DS caddy. Paul, give me a sentence about it. I'm
Awesome. That was pretty much it. I don't know. It's a game where you play as a bunch of teenage girls who try to get better boyfriends, get the most boyfriends, get the most best friends, and you will do that by any means necessary.
Wasn't that also the plot of Assassin's Creed 2?
I'm pretty sure
Yes,
it was.
in between killing everybody in the royal family and avenging your parents' death. Yeah.
Were there any awards that people vehemently disagreed with? I saw some comments to that effect. Anyone here feel that way? Go ahead.
I mean, Batman. Once again, Batman does deserve like best console game. Best multiplayer was like Borderlands, and Borderlands is all right. But I mean,
Borderlands is pretty good. I think I stand behind that one.
I think Left 4 Dead 2 should have won, in my opinion.
I was one of the people who decided not to play Left 4 Dead 2 because I'm still waiting for them to finish the first game. I paid $60 for that game. I played it was 4 hours long. I'm not spending another dime on them until they give me the rest of it.
Well,
I mean, I'm sure I would have liked Left 4 Dead 2 if I'd actually played it and probably voted for it, but I didn't, so.
My only exposure to Borderlands and Left 4 Dead, the original, not the sequel, was I actually had a lot of fun watching two of my friends play it. Normally I'm all into playing games, but it was just that much better to watch someone else do it, not need to worry about the analog sticks. I have issues. That's one of the reasons why I don't play a lot of modern console games, actually, is because I can't do the double stick action with like the PlayStation 2 and everything after that.
You must love the Wii then.
Actually, Nathaniel brings up a good point, and maybe it's just me, but I seem to be missing the gene that allows you to aim guns and those sorts of games, so I can't do it with the analog stick. Ever since they started doing it with GoldenEye 64, and every game after that that's a first-person shooter, I just can't play it. Because I can't
It's very
aim.
useful on a console to play a first-person shooter. I much prefer to play them on the PC because it's much more intuitive,
Oh,
aiming.
that's a really good idea.
No, I agree. I can actually aim. No, I said I agree. I can actually aim on the PC because I've played through. I love the Jedi Knight games, No One Lives Forever, Star Trek Voyager Elite Force, even the Half-Life games I started playing, and I didn't think that I could get them, but I can aim! It's amazing! I played maybe 20 minutes of Halo 2 multiplayer, and I was always shooting, like, just past everyone's shoulder, and I was really awesome at hitting the barrels behind me.
Well, see, that's why you play a game like Fallout 3, where if you push a button, you can go into a super special mode where you can just automatically target everything with different body parts. But you don't have to have any skill whatsoever. It's amazing.
I like
say that, but I was
Videogame.
actually very pleased about that.
I'm surprised best PC game was Tales of Monkey Island. I mean, it's an adventure game. Adventure games are, I mean, I like it, but adventure games are
I believe you're currently in a podcast with all of the people who voted for it.
Well,
Actually, I agree with Justin. Nancy Drew, Warnings at Waverly Academy all the way.
Okay, Justin, we'll give you a fair chance to defend yourself before we eat you. We may or may not roast you
I
alive.
like it. I played all of them, and I enjoy most of Telltale games. But I'm looking like Dragon Age and Dawn of War 2 were on there as well, and like
So it's the competition, not the fact that it's an adventure game.
oh yeah, well it is like adventure games. I mean, not much more. I mean, I love it, but it's not much more an adventure game you can do than rubbing two objects together and hoping the story progresses, and that's fine. But I don't know if that serves as best PC game. That's just me.
No, that's fair, because I voted for Dragon Age, and I thought that was the best PC game of the year, but then again, I think Monkey Island, especially with the GameCola set, has a much broader appeal. I mean, Vangie, you voted for Monkey Island pretty much in a case.
Yeah, we said conscience vote for it as best PC game because I didn't exactly play it on the PC. I found that for the later Monkey Island games, I can't deal with the PC controls.
They are completely awful in Tales of Monkey Island. They're the worst controls I've ever seen in a video game.
I don't know why.
Well, yeah, I
They're out of their friggin' minds for not just making it a point-and-click game like their Sam and Max games. I think personally, adventure games are virtually the only game I actually play on a PC, so it always bothers me when the controls are different. I can't handle it.
that's fair enough.
Yeah, but I understand. I mean, I just maybe the straight point and click wouldn't be best for this game, but what they did was not best either.
Yeah. I mean,
For anyone who
mouse.
doesn't know, in order to move the main character in Tales of Monkey Island, you just click the mouse and then you kind of try to drag it in the direction that you want the main character to go, and it doesn't work. It's stuck in corners all the time.
And that's why you download it for the Wii. So you can use
but
the laptops.
Telltale did send me free copies of the Wii version.
You got free copies?
Yeah, I get free copies of all the Telltale games because they love my reviews.
Nice.
Well, because
Paul, tell the truth, Paul.
because I'm
Tell
not
the
the
truth.
and
I should explain what Paul is talking about. You see, GameCola sometimes receives free review copies of various games. Say a company has a new game coming out, they will sometimes send a free review copy to the GameCola staff. Now, Paul is supposed to hand over the copy to the GameCola staff, but if it's like the Tales of Monkey Island game, and it's a game that Paul really wants to play,
take all of the reviews instead of letting anyone else on the staff, or they take all the copies instead of letting anyone else.
Thanks, Paul. Oh, looking out for us.
Oh, I let Matt Gardner, who was one of my best friends in real life, review one of the other ones, and I let my girlfriend also review for the other ones.
I don't know, I'm not a fan of Monkey Island. I think I mentioned this earlier. I played like a half hour of, what's the third one? Curse. Yeah, I couldn't get into it. I just played it for like half hour, got bored, and never played it again.
Yeah, that's the thing about I played the first one actually, like just recently. I mean, I was too young to actually play the first one when it came out, but I didn't like it nearly as much as the new ones. I don't know why. Maybe it's too old, I guess. Maybe, I don't know. I didn't laugh as much as I did with the newer ones, with Telltale running them.
I didn't laugh at all.
No?
No. I could tell all the dialogue was drop dead hilarious, but I just wasn't laughing for some reason. I don't know, maybe I was in a bad mood that day. Who knows?
Yeah.
Well, to wrap up this topic, everyone in this podcast loves all of the Monkey Island games except 4, because that one sucks. Okay?
Well,
can we all agree?
No.
Yeah, mostly. I
awesome.
made this in a comment somewhere. There are parts of it that I like, but overall it is not the strongest Monkey Island.
I don't know, I need to go back and play it again sometime. It's been a while, and I think I was just so frustrated with the new art style and with the new controls of that game that I was kind of blinded to everything else about it. So maybe if I played it again, with being a little more open-minded, I would actually be able to get into it.
Question. I noticed in the end of game year awards, how come?
On topic.
Why is it that every single time Monkey Island won, you guys felt the need to say that Dominic Armato is Guybrush Threepwood?
Because he is! Dominic Motto, he is, like,
Yeah.
I cannot think of Guybrush Threepwood with any other voice besides his.
Okay, but you have to repeat that every single time Monkey Island wins an award.
Hey, we said it twice, and that was only because Mike didn't know that I was writing it too. I should have edited one of them out, but I didn't.
Are there actual monkeys in Monkey Island?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just checking.
And there are also, in fact, islands.
I have
And
yet.
some of the islands have monkeys.
I've seen islands. I have yet to see any monkeys.
And in fact, some of the games have Monkey Island in them.
I understand
Not
it's
all of
about
them, though.
pirates. Yes.
So, anything else about the awards that anyone wants to talk about?
I just wanted to point out, I can't remember specifically which staff member it was, but I was really, really hoping that, like, Game of the Year would go to Michael Gray. I think that's who Video Xavier pointed out should win any of the awards for any of the categories. I was a big fan of that.
That's right, we do right now have the staff member of the year on this podcast. Congratulations, Michael Gray.
Thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, you'll receive a check for $10 in the mail.
Awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
Right. We haven't even made that much in our Google ad money yet, have we?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, you'll get a coupon to Starbucks.
Cool.
He's getting a certificate, and that's it.
Actually,
He's also getting Marianne Fenwick's certificate too, because I don't know where she lives. But we also have one of the runners-up for staff member of the year, Nathaniel Hoover. Congratulations to you as well.
Yeah.
Yay! You're
Thank
second place.
I'm so almost honored.
Third place, actually. I think Kevin beat him.
Kevin. Kevin. Rawr. Batman.
We kept cutting off Justin when he was talking about this, but Batman, Game of the Year. How does everyone feel about it?
I feel like it was the game of the year. For me, it was very close between that, Dragon Age, and Uncharted 2. So I enjoyed all those games immensely. But, Batman, like I mentioned in the little blurb I wrote for it, just resonated with me on this sort of nostalgic level. You know, I really enjoyed the production that I usually put into it. And so that's what put it over the top for me.
Yeah, I liked it. I like how all the original voice actors are there for it. Like, they have Mark Hamill as the Joker, which everybody would say Heath Ledger's like the best, but no, Mark Hamill, every time I read something, it's always like Mark Hamill's Joker voice. I'd always imagined it in.
Oh yeah, Mark Hamill is the Joker.
Oh yeah.
Question. What are you referring to? Is this a TV series?
Yeah, Mark Hamill.
Voice acting.
Yeah, Mark Hamill did the original voice for the Joker in the Batman animated series.
Okay. See, I'm so out of it when it comes to Batman. It's like you talk about the old Batman. That's, Adam West, Batman and Robin fighting ridiculous villains. But the new Batman has no Robin and all these villains I've never heard of before. So I don't get that nostalgia factor when playing that game.
Well,
which I didn't do.
For anybody who doesn't know, Mark Hamill has also played Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars films. Anybody, if I think I've heard it. Anybody has been on the internet. But yeah, I don't know if it. There was a lot of other. Batman was good, but in terms of value, I kind of believe Assassin's Creed 2 kind of went a little over that. Like I played Assassin's Creed 2. Like Assassin's Creed 2 was a much longer and I believe a little more fulfilling than Batman was. Like Batman, I beat it very quickly, and I liked it, but there was no definite end to Batman, as opposed to Assassin's Creed 2, where it had a very definite and good closure, and I had fun all the way through. So that's why Assassin's Creed 2 probably should deserve it more than Batman.
I feel like I'm comfortable with my decision on Batman there. I really, really had a lot of fun playing that game. And even if it wasn't, as long as some of the other ones, I feel like the experience was excellent.
Oh yeah. It never gets boring watching Batman kick somebody in the chops.
Oh, that's mean.
That's what Batman
they
does.
usually deserve it, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess they usually deserve it. Yeah. Okay. Is King Tut in the game? He's no longer a Batman video. Is he still a Batman villain? The Egyptian one?
What's up, Bo?
No. King Tut. I do remember a King Tut on the TV series, though, and I'm not. I don't want to be quoted on this, but I'm pretty sure he was invented for the TV show. Maybe.
Yeah. So no. I mean, from what I could tell from the last podcast, the Batman game had a bunch of all the Batman villains. So I was wondering if King Tut was one of them, but apparently not.
They don't really
I
have
guess
all
he's
the
not an
Batman
official Batman villain anymore.
Oh.
I mean, they didn't have Mr. Freeze. They didn't have the Penguin. They only really had Killer Croc.
Well, they have references to them all, and I think we're probably going to see them in the sequel. Some more.
Okay.
Yeah, they just announced that a couple weeks ago, didn't they?
Yeah.
Coming out. Yeah. Alright. It wasn't in Carbonated news, so I'm not really sure.
Oh wait.
Alright, so final thoughts.
Who's writing
anything?
Carbonated?
Anyone have anything else to add about our year-end awards this year?
I was robbed of Employee of the Year. That's about it.
I apologize. I
It
didn't
looks
mean to
like
steal.
it looks like only 2 people voted for Michael Ridgaway, and one of them was Michael Ridgaway.
And the other one was Mrs. Ridgaway?
Clearly, he knows best.
Actually, no. I don't think Vangie voted for him.
No, not Vangie. I mean Michael's mom.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Traitor!
How many votes did Professor Layton get? I was confused because the year Professor Layton came out, Professor Layton was in the logo for the end of year awards, but it didn't actually win any awards, so I was kind of hoping that this year he would win, but he didn't win anything at all.
Actually, I'm looking at the numbers right now. Professor Layton was only a few votes away from for best portable. Just needed one more person to vote for it.
Oh!
Really? Super close.
Oh! What a shame.
And then right after that, super close to that, is Mario and Luigi, Bowser's Inside Story. And then Drama Queens.
Which reminds me, Paul, we should all get together and play that again, if only for our adoring fans.
Absolutely.
But if you get together and play that again, put a video camera in front of it.
Yes.
True. Well, we got the means to do it here.
Wait, we do? We can do another Drama Queens podcast right now?
Well, we have a video camera in our place.
Oh, okay, sorry. I thought you were talking about, playing the game right now. Dun dun dun.
I have a Hannah Montana video camera that my brother gave me for my birthday. You can act out your favorite scenes from Hannah Montana and from High School Musical.
Wait, High School Musical? Which scenes?
High School Musical was also included in the video camera software.
Which scenes? Which scenes, Paul?
The one where they dance, I don't know.
Paul!
I think now that we've descended to talking about High School Musical, I think it's time for the podcast.
All in this together.
Paul, you gotta be more descriptive about what everybody's favorite scenes in High School Musical are, because my favorite scenes are stuff like Zac Efron tries to act, who came up with the choreography for this dance, and that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen.
Okay. I think it's time to end it.
Oh, okay, fine. Apparently, we are not all in this together because nobody wants to talk about High School Musical.
Thank you everyone for listening. Please keep checking out the new site. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more stuff coming up now that we can post every day, and you can actually see it right when you visit the site.
Ooh, hey, do we have a podcast section on the new site, Paul?
We do.
Huzzah!
Nope.
Alright, thank you all for listening. I'm Mike Ridgaway.
I'm not actually mad at Michael Gray or Paul Franzen. I'm just joking, guys.
I'm actually mad at
I'm
Nathaniel Hoover.
Actually, what Nathaniel said there was the joke.
I'm Billy Mays.
And I'm Rob Schneider. Thank you for listening. Thus ends GameCola Podcast number 20, produced by GameCola.net. GameCola.net Video Game Humor. Copyright GameCola.net, January 2010. Starring Michael Ridgway, Michael Gray, Nathaniel Hoover, Paul Franzen, and Justin Lushinsky. Also starring Vangie Rich for a little bit. Also starring Marianne Fenwick, if you want to count the part where I called her cell phone and she left a message. The music was performed by Michael Gray. And thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Are we done?
I think
Yep.
so. Okay, so High School Musical 3.